cards. You'll probably wish you hadn't. Terry Drinkwater explains that American children these days are obsessed with the whole disgusting deck.
The wonderful folks who brought us baseball cards, tributes to the excellence of genuine heroes, the idols of generations of young Americans, now bring us Acne Amy, Tommy Gunn, Bad Breath Seth, Slain Wayne, and the rest of what are called the Garbage Pail Kids. Among the preteen set, they are really hot.
I like 2 Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah.
The manufacturer won't release sales figures, but so many youngsters have become so obsessed that the cards have been banned by some school principals, from the West Coast to the East.
Simply said, if you have them, fine, keep them home. Monday morning, I don't want to see them in school.
You can't even play with them at recess time. What are you supposed to do, just sit there? I mean, really?
I'll trade you Slain Wayne for Bad Brad.
Or a rare clogged Dwayne for a hard-to-find furry Fran.
I think they're icky and gross. Some of the things on them are a little bit disgusting. It looks sort of like a swamp monster, but it's from the sewer. And it's known as Sewer Sue. I think it's disgusting. Dead Fred. He's dead. And there's blood splattered on the ground.
That's violent, or is it?
It's violent, but it's just like, it's like cartoony.
Do you know anybody disgusting like that in real life?
I think they do give kids a chance to let off steam together in a not inappropriate way, to be kind of antisocial and anti-conventional in a way that doesn't really hurt too badly.
I'll trade you, Harry for Messy Tessie. I already have Messy Tessie. Okay.
Parents and educators think that this whole garbage pail thing will soon pass.
So do you want to trade?
They think. Terry Drinkwater, CBS News, Santa Monica.
Please don't ask me what it all means. Dan Rather, we'll see you here again Monday. Good night.
Meet Bullseye Barry and Pat Splat, or how about Mugged Marcus? They're just 3 in a whole family of Garbage Pail Kids, a collection of gruesome-looking creatures that real kids can't seem to get enough of, and stores run out in no time.
We sold out of them. We can't keep them in stock.
The West Virginia Treasurer A. James Manchin says the cards threaten the well-being of children, and after getting dozens of complaints, he's asking stores to pull them from their shelves.
They don't need to have a chewing gum company or a bubble gum company sending them cards that show mutilation, cannibalism, torture, one child being burned alive on a bubble gum card, and these have started now to impress the youngsters, and we simply don't need that.
Nonetheless, they're hot sellers. This store sold 3 cases in a week.
They're fun to look at. The gross ones are the coolest.
A mangled arm, a shrunken head, a blood-splattered face. Kids know what they are.
A baby getting beat up.
And despite the treasurer's plea, not all parents are opposed to them.
I personally don't think they're any worse than cartoons on television and so forth, like Masters of the Universe, and those are pretty gross. And as long as they don't scare my kids, they don't bother me.
But they bother the treasurer, and while he's not ordering stores to remove the Garbage Pail Kids, he's hoping public pressure will put a lid on them. Alan Cullen, WCHS-TV, News 8, Charleston.
We're at the beginning of a new wave of research. Our creative powers are being stretched. We're learning surprising things about how we sense the world around us. Exploring the mysteries of the spoken word.
Nice. Nice.
Noise, 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 noise.
noise.
It appears to us that the resistors should track very well with one another. So I think in the first go-around here, we should make all the resistors variable.
Let's put this on and see how
These men are design engineers at Bell Telephone Laboratories, the research and development part of the Bell system. They're about to engage a new breed of computer called Graphic 1 in a dialogue that will test the ingenuity of both men and machine. It's a new way of working out abstract problems in the age-old medium of drawings and designs, which explains why the technique is called computer graphics. Our researchers have an idea for a telephone filter circuit they want to try out, but they need a ready answer for the problem. If they do this, what will happen? They could spend many hours in the workshop building and testing the real thing. Instead, they'll draw their circuit directly on Graphic 1's cathode ray tube. The operator talks to the computer with an electronic light pen, which does a precise and easy job of assembling the symbolic parts of the design. Diodes, resistors, transformers, and all are automatically positioned by the pen, connecting them as it goes along.
I think the drawing will be much more readable if we place that 3-terminal device down in the lower right-hand corner.
You want to move this down over here?
Yes.
If they change their plan, that's no problem either. There's no need to memorize complex rules, for the computer signals the action when it's ready. If the researchers have done a good job of programming what they want the design to do, the computer is quick to point out any breakdown in their logic.
All done, Jim?
I think so.
No, you left out the number in this specification of the 2-port.
We left out the inputted pins.
Right.
Let's make that 1 meg-ohm. Okay, let's try again now.
The design is complete. But will it work? At this stage, a remotely located master computer takes over the job of calculating the performance curves of the circuit.
Okay, let's go. All right, we're ready to interact. I think it looks good. We certainly don't have to worry about the amplifier we're using based on this.
On some of these letter things here, we're not doing it right. It's too gray. How much trouble is it to get that changed to some other color?
Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again. Let's make bug A go, what would you say, down 1 square and right 1 square. So you see what we'll get is the program going through these lines.
A consulting graphic artist and a Bell Laboratories scientist are collaborating on an idea for an experimental computer-made movie.
Come out of it, you know, and right, this idea of you being able to program something so we know what it's supposed to do. And what I get a great deal of response out of is you don't know what it's exactly going to do in terms of images. And
it's interesting to me that you say the unexpected things that happen.
Yeah.
Because in a sense, the computer has done exactly what you told it to do, right?
Their shooting script is an intricate set of instructions written in one of several programming languages available. This one is B-Flix, short for Bell Labs Flix. This is an excerpt from a B-Flix computer movie showing how the script, now a deck of punch cards with all the cues typed in, is fed into the computer, winding up as a reel of recorded tape.
Hi, Bernie? Yes, sir. Hi, I've got another B-Flix movie here on 2 reels. Can you possibly do it now?
Sure can.
Great. That's the second half.
All right.
And this is the first one.
All right, fine. We'll run it right now. How do you want these run, Ken?
Please run it just halfway between F5.6 and F8. Leave it perfectly in focus.
Under computer control now, the taped information is converted into rapidly moving pictures made up of a fine mosaic of points of varying light intensity. A synchronized movie camera automatically photographs the fast-moving images as they are plotted and drawn on the face of a cathode ray tube.
want to reach out to this technology. I want to incorporate this technology into my art and have the two mixed together. For instance, what spellbinds me as an idea is that I'll be able to sit someplace in a railroad station and write a movie, or maybe even pick up a telephone eventually and write a movie.
Besides creating unique visual effects, computer movies can be used to show phenomena we can't directly see. This film describes the motion of a communication satellite. By studying it, scientists can obtain new insight into the satellite's stabilizing system. Only a man orbiting alongside could observe it the same way. Experimenters in visual perception are using computers to create weird, random patterns that never occur in real life, to find out what and how people see when these patterns are shown to them. These patterns are curiously reminiscent of the pointillism of the 19th century artist Seurat, whose beautifully integrated paintings are formed by countless computer-like dots and dashes. The art of Seurat is an incredibly methodical technique that produced only a dozen or so paintings in his lifetime. Today, researchers are generating that many in a single day. The shape and texture of perceived objects are studies that look deep into the future of communications. When we learn to separate the relevant from irrelevant in visual information, we'll be on the way to sending three-dimensional color picture messages over ordinary telephone lines.
And then we found that when you get back far enough, not only do the small pictures disappear because you're not close enough to see them individually, and the big picture comes across, but if you get even further back, then the picture takes on a continuous tone quality, as though it were a photograph, rather than being a very crude computer-generated, spatially quantized thing.
One of the interesting things to me was that you can draw quite a distinguishable picture on just an 11 by 11 array of black spots and white spots.
The entire musical score accompanying this film was composed on a computer that can produce nearly endless variations of sounds.
We're interested in finding better ways of describing complicated sounds like speech. However, speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler, and some of the methods which we're using here to describe music in terms of a graphical function can also be used for speech, and we can find out a great deal by studying these simpler sounds.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too.
Programming the score is like composing for conventional musical instruments, except that notes are replaced by numbers. The computer converts these numbers into impulses that cause sound waves to come directly from a loudspeaker.
For the carriage, but you look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two.
What actually happens when we hear sounds? We know that the membrane of the inner ear changes sound waves into audible sensations. But until recently, no one had seen the whole inner ear in action. When sound waves strike the membrane, it makes thousands of microscopic movements per second. Only by computer could they be calculated and for the first time pictorially described. It takes several minutes of this motion to draw the simple sound of yes. Since the model of the inner ear is being expressed mathematically, it can be pictured in different ways. In this 3D version, the membrane is given a spiral shape, recoiling as it receives shocks from simulated sound waves.
Now, aside from some of the standard problems with showing three-dimensional movies, when we showed these movies up in Boston, I think some of the people up there were quite interested and excited in what they saw. Yes, I suppose that as an educational tool, it's very good. It allows people to see things which only mathematicians could see before. And in fact, the people who seemed most interested were the medical doctors and people like audiologists.
Human speech, seemingly so simple, is a very complicated process no one fully understands.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep.
Those words were spoken by a digital computer, programmed to simulate a speaking machine. Much of what we know about voice and speech is stored in the computer's memory. From there, we can experiment with more advanced ideas in areas that are still unknown. Take stress. How do we always seem to know just which parts of spoken words to emphasize?
Ruth, let's try to synthesize that sentence.
Okay, do you want monotone pitch?
Let's hear it on monotone first.
Okay.
Scientists can only begin to explain how we speak. We stress words without thinking, giving them fine shadings of pitch and intensity.
I like my glossy black.
Let's see if you can change that stress on my.
How about on my and black? Would that be all right?
Fine, let's try it.
When phonetic symbols are fed to the synthesizer, it combines them into intelligible speech.
I like my glossy black. I like my glossy black.
Well, there's more inflection on it, but let's see if we can improve this. Why don't we look at the pitch curve now? I think I'll try to make the inflection on black a little bit stronger.
I like my glossy black.
Let's see if I can improve that.
I like my glossy black.
The art of computer graphics is only in its infancy. Yet it is already stimulating creative thought in far-out areas where research is likely to get complex and unwieldy. It offers not only the means to quicken the pace of discovery, but an ideal way of communicating what we may discover. Because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover. This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education Association. Produced by Archer Productions, Incorporated. Hey, Bert, come on out and meet all these nice people, please. Oh, all right. We really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very, very careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the way he keeps from being hurt. Sometimes it even saves his life. That's why these children are practicing to duck and cover just as you do in your school. We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time. Fire is a danger. It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fires. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire, and you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do. Automobiles can be dangerous, too. They sometimes cause bad accidents, but we are ready. We have safety rules that car drivers and people who are walking must obey. Now, we must be ready for a new danger, the atomic bomb. First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you were not ready and did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, you will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck and your face. Duck and cover underneath a table or desk or anything else close by. In Betty's school, they are talking about the atomic bomb, too. Betty is asking her teacher, how can we tell when the atomic bomb may explode? And her teacher is explaining that there are two kinds of attack, with warning and without any warning. We think that most of the time we will be warned before the bomb explodes, so there will be time for us to get into our homes, schools, or some other safe place. Our civil defense workers and our men in uniform will do everything they can to warn us before enemy planes can bring a bomb near us. You may be in your schoolyard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Always remember, the flash of an atomic bomb can come at any time, no matter where you may be. You might be out playing at home when the warning comes. Then be sure to get into the house fast, where your parents have fixed a safe place for you to go. If you are not close to home when you hear the warning, go to the nearest safe cover. Know where you are to go, or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign? They're safe places to go when you hear the alarm. If there is a warning, you will hear it before the bomb explodes. But sometimes, and this is very, very important, sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning. Then the first thing we would know about it would be the flash. And that means duck and cover fast, wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. Be like Bert. When there is a flash, duck and cover, and do it fast. Here are some older boys showing what to do if the flash comes when you are not in the classroom. This is what to do if you should be in a corridor. You duck and cover tight against the wall this way. Remember to keep your face and the back of your neck covered tightly. Try to fall away from windows or doors with glass in them. Then, if the glass breaks and flies through the air, it won't cut you. You might be eating your lunch when the flash comes. Duck and cover under the table. Then, if the explosion makes anything in the room fall down, it can't fall on you. Getting ready means we will all have to be able to take care of ourselves. The bomb might explode when there are no grown-ups near. Paul and Patty know this, and they're always ready to take care of themselves. Here they are on their way to school on a beautiful spring day. But no matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover. Paul and Patty know what to do. Paul covered the back of his head so that he wouldn't be burned, and Patty covered herself with the coat she was carrying. They knew how to duck and cover. They acted right away when the flash came. If they had been at this doorway when the bomb flashed, Paul and Patty would have ducked and covered this way, like this girl. Heavy doorways are a good place to duck and cover. She will be safer, too. Here's Tony going to his Cub Scout meeting. Tony knows the bomb can explode any time of the year, day or night. He is ready for it. Duck and cover. Attaboy, Tony. That flash means act fast. Tony knows that it helps to get to any kind of cover. This wall was close by, so that's where he ducked and covered. Tony knew what to do. Notice how he keeps from moving or from getting up and running? He stays down until he is sure the danger is over. The man helping Tony is a civil defense worker. His job is to help protect us when there is danger of the atomic bomb. We must obey the civil defense worker. We must know how to duck and cover in the school bus or in any other bus or streetcar. Duck and cover. Don't wait. Duck away from the windows fast. The glass may break and fly through the air and cut you. Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. This family knows what to do, just as your own family should. They know that even a thin cloth helps protect them. Even a newspaper can save you from a bad burn. But the most important thing of all is to duck and cover yourself, especially where your clothes do not cover you. No matter where we live, in the city or the country, we must be ready all the time for the atomic bomb. Duck and cover. That's the first thing to do, duck and cover. The next important thing to do after that is to stay covered until the danger is over. Yes, we must all get ready now so we know how to save ourselves if the atomic bomb ever explodes near us. If you do not know just what to do, ask your teacher when this film is over. Discuss what you could do in different places if a bomb explodes. Older people will help us as they always do, but there might not be any grown-ups around when the bomb explodes. Then, you're on your own.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash? Duck and cover. Duck and cover. Duck and cover.
I'm sorry, but Gilbert won't be able to play with you boys till later this afternoon. He's doing some work for me.
Springs. I hope I never see another spring as long as I live.
So, you never want to see another spring, eh? Okay, mister, I'll fix it so you get that wish.
Who are you?
The name's Coily. Coily the Spring Sprite, they call me. I heard your wish, and, well, you're going to get it. No more springs for you from now on. No springs.
Oh, gee, Coily, I didn't realize what I was wishing. I'm sorry for everything I said. Can't we call the whole thing off? Isn't there anything I can do? Please let me take back my wish.
Well, okay. I'll do it just this once. But next time, be careful. Don't ever make that wish again.
You see, fellows, the scientific principle of a spring is to absorb energy and then to release it. That's all there is to it.
Too bad, Joe.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Yes, it was. But if it wasn't for the amount of spring in the club shaft, combined with the spring of the rubber inside the ball, that drive wouldn't have gone anywhere at all. You see, all spring action depends on elasticity, the ability of material to return to its original form after it's been forced out of shape. You know, like the action of a springboard. And when you stop to think about it, even the ground, the earth, is like a huge spring. It has the ability to absorb a blow and then transmit the shock from one point to another. And that's exactly what a spring is supposed to do. Transmit shock from one point to another.
Okay, but let's get on with the game.
You don't realize the number of springs that work for us every day. Why, there's a little spring in your cigarette lighter, and the spring in your pencil clip, and the huge springs that cushion the railroad trains. Why, I could name thousands of everyday uses for springs.
Don't bother.
I never realized until lately that springs have such a universal use. Why, there's springs in mouse traps, guns, exercisers, hinges, pogo sticks. Why, it's practically impossible to name a single thing in which some sort of spring isn't essential, in one way or another. Take that plane up there, for instance. It's got a set of shock absorbers on the wheels that depend on heavy springs controlled by a hydraulic arrangement. When the ship lands, the springs ease the shock so much you can't even tell when you're on the ground. And as far as an automobile is concerned, why, I wouldn't even attempt to tell you how many various kinds of springs are used, in addition to the springs and shock absorbers. Good. You know, the trouble with people like you guys is that just because most springs are usually hidden, you seldom think of the important part they play in the regular operation and enjoyment of our cars. For instance, just take those springs I mentioned a while ago. The springs that are built under the car to provide complete riding comfort. Spiral coil springs in the knee action in front balance the weight of the car with soft leaf springs in the rear, so that the body always rides along on an even keel. Can you imagine what it would be like riding along a rough road like this without those special springs? And then, too, the springs in the seat and back cushions take up any other little bumps that get through to the body of the car. Yes, sir, as far as riding comfort is concerned, the tires, the cushion springs, and the special springs under the car all combine to give us a ride that can't be topped. Hey, Joe, wake up. Wake up, fellows.
Well, that didn't take long.
You played a great game, boy, but you lost. What you need is a little more spring in the old...
Very funny. You and your springs. I hope I never see another...
Stop! Don't say it. Don't ever wish anything like that as long as you live.
you.